No, hold on, watch out.
That thing won't open.
Anybody in the house? All right, we gotta get away. Come on, come on. You're good, pup. Come on. Go. I booted that door and I didn't see anybody in there. Huh? All right.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to do a video response. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a state police trainer instructor, FLETC instructor. I'm also a certified teacher and have a law degree. Now, I think this video was awesome, right? The cop took initiative, saw there was exigent circumstances, saw there was community caretaking functions, walked right up to the door. The guy's like, oh, well, open, and he just booted it. What I love to hear, right? It's what I love to see. I want to see law enforcement officers that are men of action, men and women of action, that utilize force constitutionally, legally, ethically. He did all three. Now let's look at the case law perspectives, because there's a few people that are concerned with what he did. The first one that I think it's important that we note and that we realize is CTF doctrine, right? CTF doctrine recognizes that police officers are a jack of all emergencies and are expected to aid those in distress, combat actual hazards, and prevent potential hazards from materializing, and to provide an infinite variety of other services to preserve and protect community safety. The courts have described this function as community caretaking. So when an officer acts totally divorced from detection, investigation, or the acquisition of evidence related to a violation of a criminal statute, they act in their capacity as a community caretaker. This is important because these actions are considered exempt from the First Amendment protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, and that is pursuant to, in accordance with Caddy versus Dombrowski, 1973, right? So right off the bat, we have that. Another thing to look at is called the emergency aid exemption. The United States Supreme Court held that police may enter a building without a warrant when they have objectively reasonable basis to believe that an occupant is seriously injured or threatened with such injury. And then, quoting Mincy versus Arizona, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote, "The need to protect or preserve life or avoid serious injury is justification for what would be otherwise illegal," right? Absence an exigency or emergency. Again, known as the emergency aid exemption. And so the question that everybody always has that I think it's important that we talk about is, what if I find a crime while I'm engaged in a CTF function or emergency aid doctrine? Well, there's two trains of thought on this that I would say would be the most permissible, right? So we have what's called plain view doctrine. The Supreme Court affirmed that the legal principle that if a police officer is lawfully in a position to see an object that was clearly evidence of a crime, they can seize that object and use it as evidence even without a warrant, under what's known as the plain view doctrine, Harris versus United States, 1968. And then two, the other train of thought is, once a crime is discovered, the performance of your lawful CTF or emergency aid duties stop and apply for a warrant. Again, Caddy versus Dombrowski, 1973. So the way I look at it is, obviously, if I see something, I'm already in plain view doctrine, right? So there's nothing that says that I can't seize something or say, hey, we need to stop, right? I see something here, I absolutely need to stop. We need to take care of this, right? So, if I go into a house because welfare check and I see somebody lay on the ground and I'm afraid that, having some kind of medical emergency, yes, can I kick in the door, check on them? And while I'm in there, I see, okay, oh, geez, there's a bunch of illegal drugs. There's a bunch of stuff here. I can take care of the person I was there to take care of, and then immediately say, hey, we have a crime scene here. Let's secure it. And then I'm going to go get a warrant and say, this is what happened, the why, and then we're covered either way. So I'm a big fan of using warrants. Again, we have to write a warrant. We have to write a report anyway, and that report is going to have to show probable cause irrespective. So get the report written up real quick, or at least the PC written up real quick, get it signed for a warrant, and then you're all good to go. So there you have it. What did you guys think of this video? Did you guys think it was cool as I did? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, long live the Republic.